The UK has long been the art world's global superpower, with London parading as its prize-winning show Poodle. But snapping at London's well-manicured heels is a provincial art mongrel. That mongrel is Bristol, the most up-and-coming creative city in the UK. But until now, its radicals, rule breakers and knitters have never made it any further than the M4. One curator, aiming to put Bristol on the creative map, is Vicky Yentob. She is a pioneering London tastemaker who is organising a groundbreaking exhibition titled The Art Bastard Show at Bristol's iconic Arnolfini Gallery. Yentob has handpicked the three most divisive artists that Bristol has to offer: conceptual titan Toby Glass, new folk taxidermist Lily Rose, and the notorious street artist Vaj. Each has granted unprecedented access to their working processes as they prepare for the biggest exhibition of their careers. As preparations begin, we find Vicky at the acclaimed Arnolfini Gallery, where she has been finalising the details of the Art Bastard Show with Tim Timothy, the gallery's prestigious director, and the man with the future of the exhibition in his hands.
Hi everyone, welcome. This here is the Arnolfini, and the only place in Bristol where we can stage Art Bastard. I've come to Bristol because Bristol is the most trendy place in the UK for art, right now.
The first artist that Vicky has selected for the Art Bastard Show is conceptualist Toby Glass. His early work was made entirely from masking tape.
So this piece was one of the first that I constructed. This here was a particularly difficult piece. I didn't really sleep much during this period here, but you know, it's kind of like when Jesus was out in the desert for 40 days and 40 nights. You've got to go through these difficult times in order to get where you need to go, which was here.
Glass is the only Bristol artist to have previously exhibited at the exclusive Arnolfini with his 2005 show, Stuck, Stuck, Unstuck, Stuck. The exhibition saw Glass evolving his concept of masking to new heights of conceptualism when he applied single pieces of masking tape to selected walls throughout the profoundly vacant Arnolfini. In an act of self-promotional controversy, Glass arrived at his show entirely masking himself. His stunt confused the local press, but won plaudits in the high art media.
And for that piece, it was really important that when I arrived, people weren't sure that it was me. Is that him? I wanted them to ask. It looks like him, has a similar shape, but there was something mysterious.
I mean, the publicity that Toby got from wearing that burqa was phenomenal. That when he released his next series, Objects Contained in Masking Tape That Are Unidentifiable, the prices were just amazing.
This is a fabrication process. I haven't touched any of these. I have people doing it for me, and only I know what is inside, and that's why they are a piece of art which will be remembered forever.
Far away from Toby's white-walled galleries, the woodland creatures of new folk art can be found across Bristol, from vintage clothing shops to organic cafes. Its star is Lily Rose, who was recently featured on the front cover of pseudo-rebellious Crack magazine, validating her as folk art's authentic peg-up girl.
I think the problem with most woodland artists is that they don't really understand nature. I mean, Lily is the opposite. She finds it difficult to understand real life.
And this is my favourite tree, which sometimes has secrets, so I don't know if she's got any for me today. And see, this looks like a kind of listening crevice. I suppose nature, the tactile nature of nature, is something that I'm continually fascinated by. Thank you. Sorry, I can't tell you about that one.
Lily mastered the craft of taxidermy at a very young age, motivated by the death of a childhood friend.
I began my self-taught taxidermy practice following the death of a pet. Thane was my best friend. I wanted to preserve something of that relationship that we had and that now, thanks to taxidermy, we continue to have. I should have done your neck the other way. Sorry.
Lily is a complicated artist. She is both a taxidermist and a strict vegan. She believes that through her work she can liberate animals from the problem of death. As a result, her home has become a sanctuary for woodland creatures in need.
It's very difficult to explain, but when your fingers are inside such little creatures, their eyes are full of pleasure and they're kind of saying thank you. I feel like I'm preserving something very important and doing the only thing I can to give life back to them.
Without question, Bristol is home to the highest concentration of street art in the UK. But since Banksy sold out and moved to LA, Bristol's graffiti scene has been severely lacking in provocative political statements. That is, until Vaj came.
Vaj is the first ever female street artist. She is a one-woman powerhouse and she's single-handedly taking on the macho world of graffiti.
This world is male-dominated, fact. The art world is male-dominated, fact. Street art is male-dominated, you know what I mean? And I'm not just talking about metaphorical cocks, there are cocks fucking everywhere, man. And I'm talking like big cocks spray-painted on the wall. I've got to redress the balance. I thought I can't let this just slip past me. I've got to put my stamp out there, so put my Vaj up. See this sign, diverted traffic? Put a Vaj there. That's really going to divert traffic, isn't it?
Vaj's existence is unashamedly criminal. But it is that very fact that gives her work an authenticity lacking in so many of today's street artists. Vaj is the feared and respected figurehead of the spray can generation. Whether considered to be the voice of a new wave of feminism or a common criminal, there is no denying her unrelenting message.
I think us women have been waiting a long time for a mouthpiece for our gender. And I think Vaj is that mouthpiece.
I'm not going to get into this feminism, post-feminism bullshit, you know. It's much of a muchness. Basically, it's all about the Vaj. It's central to feminism and post-feminism, you know what I mean? But I know I'm the only one doing it for real.
I think Vaj is very aware of what other street artists are doing. I mean, she is super switched on. She's out on the streets every night, checking out the competition. And she's a very harsh critic.
Mouse. Gash. Get me. Fox. Gash. Jumping around. What is this cartoon shit, man? And daisies and that. Thomas the Tank Engine. All right. But he's a bit of a prick. Personally, I prefer the Fat Controller. More of a statement.
One of the most fantastic things about Bristol is how diverse the art scene is, and that's where Art Bastard comes in. It's going to really showcase the diversity of the Bristol art scene.
As preparations for the Art Bastard show begin, we find Toby in his studio as he develops his ambitious new project. In a dramatic, stylistic departure from his early work, Glass is planning to orchestrate a performance piece, bringing together 17 ballerinas and a crane. The performance will be filmed and then shown in the exclusive Arnolfini for the Art Bastard exhibition. As the location for the performance, Glass has chosen the Bear Pit, a public space in central Bristol with a reputation as a gathering point for the city's intoxicated underclasses.
Well, as you can see, the preparations are going very well. I'm in exactly the position I need to be in at this stage. I've got all the plans laid out. You call this a piece of masking tape. I call this Toby Glass. This is me. I'll be lying in the Bear Pit. The ballerinas will be around me and I will fall asleep. And it's at that point that I will be picked up and winched into the air.
Toby's new work is a significant departure from his previous ultra-minimal style and has been suggested by some to be nothing more than an elaborate publicity stunt by an artist who has not released any new work for over 7 years.
Firstly, is 7 years a long time to exhibit new work? No. So when I'm asked, why have I waited such a long time? I ask myself, shouldn't you be spending another 7 years on this piece? I could quite easily spend another 7 years working on this piece.
As well as providing Toby with the platform to make his art world comeback, Vicky claims she is responsible for discovering Lily, an artist she believes to be profoundly on trend.
And she is at the height of the woodland phase right now. I mean, you can't get more woodland than she is. And it's so fashionable. You know, everybody wants a pair of antlers. Everybody wants a stuffed grouse. Everybody needs a badger in the living room. This is what Lily does.
Lily is seemingly unaware of her iconic status and takes her inspiration from an earnest love of the natural world. We meet her and her pet sparrowhawk Thane in St Andrew's Park to better understand their unconventional upbringing.
Living on a barge allows you a freedom. My Deity and Moon Mother and Earth Mother were often very engaged, and so I had free rein to go off exploring. It's so refreshing. For the Arnolfini show, I'm going to be replicating in as close a way as possible the shrine that I had to my pet sparrowhawk Thane. So it's going to be quite small and almost like a discovery that you chance upon with all of Thane's precious treasures and maybe a leaf.
Vicky has called the artist to Toby's personal residence for an Art Bastard planning meeting. It will be Vaj's first chance to meet her fellow exhibitors. Toby and Lily already have a professional relationship, with the impoverished Lily working as Toby's personal assistant.
Lily.
Despite Lily's work being considerably more fashionable than Toby's, the art world places more monetary value on highbrow concepts than on taxidermied squirrels.
OCIM TTAU. This is an installation. I love what Toby's done here. And actually, this is worth a fortune. 100 grand right there.
The artists that Vicky has selected represent the extremities of Bristol's creative landscape.
The reason that I chose such different artists, and all three of them are incredibly diverse, is Bristol is a melting pot, really. It's where so many things clash, and I think part of what's wonderful and so raw about Bristol is that clash.
What is this?
OCIM TTAU. Object covered in masking tape.
Contained.
Contained in masking tape. And other
Objects
stuff.
contained in masking tape that are unidentifiable. It's my work, Vaj, and if you wouldn't mind moving over there.
Certainly, Toby, yeah? Don't want to get too close to the masking tape, might get stuck.
Undeterred by obvious tensions in the group, Vicky decides to start discussions about the curation of the 29,000 square feet of gallery space dedicated to the Art Bastard show.
So what we're going to do is just, have a little chat through and make sure we all know where we're filling and maybe have a bit of brainstorming about how we're going to fill it, In London especially, curators are so oppressive, and I like to think I'm just a really cool, creative person, and I'm just happy to let them breathe. So, Toby, if you want to go first and just have a look at the spaces, see what you want to give yourself.
Vicky, you know I don't draw. I don't draw. I never have drawn and I never will draw. I've never drawn one picture. If you think about a caveman drawing a picture on a wall, I'm not doing that. So in fact, I'm predating drawing. Lily, pencil for me the space which I require. If you start off here by shaping around the ground floor. Lily, what's wrong with your pencil?
It's natural, Tobes, it's natural.
Scratching and grazing on the page here. Have you not got anything better?
As the artists begin to negotiate where they will be exhibiting their work, the full extent of Toby's ambition becomes increasingly apparent.
Now, Vicky, as I discussed, I will also need galleries 2, 3 and 4. And I need the top floor and the reading room. And here. And this piece here.
So, Tobes, what is it you're thinking about for the show?
I'm not prepared to go into the details of my piece here, Vicky.
No, absolutely.
What I will say is that it's a performance piece, which I'm planning to document by film. It will be shown in the Arnolfini, but the building itself will be sealed with no one permitted to enter. It's all about the potentiality, Vicky. The film won't be seen, the performance won't be witnessed, and that's why we need the space.
Lily, they have, just for you, the cutest little cafe bar on the ground floor. And what I'm thinking is woodland. Lily's final piece is going to be really pushing the boundaries of the woodland phase. So bringing the outdoors indoors. How much of it can we get indoors? You know, stags, wolves, deers, as much foliage as we can cram in. And we're in talks with a local woodland park about releasing live squirrels and birds as people are watching.
Right, I've sat here, listened to this one, talking nothing. So I don't give a shit where I am. And as Toby doesn't think it fit to share it with the rest of us, then Vaj ain't gonna share it with the rest of us. So Vaj is gonna do something what you don't need to know about. What you don't need to know about. WD whatever.
Despite the artists' differing approaches to the show, Vicky remains confident that the exhibition will be a success.
Different artists, different skills. There's bound to be a few tensions there, a few clashes, and that's totally normal. In fact, it's great because it just shows how diverse this show is and how many different forces are going to be clashing in one place, you know, if you can get inside.
Later that night, we meet Vaj amidst the sprawling concrete canvas where her name has become legend to learn more about the woman behind the bandana.
The first time I picked up a spray can was when I was 5 years old, yeah? And we were in a playground after school, and there was this one boy, yeah, and he had this spray can and was just spraying shit. So I just got so mad, I went over there, like fucking took his legs out, then I picked up the spray can, and I knew it at 5 years old, I just fucking put Vaj. But back then, I spelled it with a G, because I wasn't that good at spelling when I first started school.
Vaj takes us to some of the sites of her previous work, all of which have been removed by Bristol City Council, due to what she considers to be a personal grudge.
The piece I did up here, casino slots, was when I had my bit of a gambling phase going on. I used to go bingo with my nan, she got me hooked. But then I was like, fuck the dib-dab of shit, because it's too restrictive, so I came down to slots. But then I just thought, fucking hell, man, it's just a lot of dirty men in there just sticking things in slots. I didn't like that. That's why I did the piece with the squatting Vaj and with the pussy hanging out. But Bristol City Council took it down.
There have been long-standing rumours that Banksy taught Vaj how to stencil. Vaj, however, sees things differently.
Banksy did not teach the vag how to stencil, yeah? You got that? Stenciling's gone back in time, man. I'm talking like my nana has got shitloads of stenciling in her loo. She got that from changing rooms. So if my nana got it from changing rooms, where the fuck did Banksy get it from? You know what I mean? This right here is Queen Victoria, yeah? The original feminist, the OF, you get me? And this woman, I got so much respect for her. So when Bristol City Council said that by me putting a little minge on her was offensive, I was torn up about that shit. She had a badge and she was proud.
Despite agreeing to do her first ever gallery show, Vaj is not finding it easy to cooperate with her fellow exhibitors. Something especially apparent when we asked her about the conceptual artist, Toby Glass.
I don't know, he's a dick, isn't he? Come on, he's a dick. And them masking tape balls, they're worth like 100 grand. 100 fucking grand for masking tape.
Toby has finally decided to reveal to Vicky the location for his controversial performance piece. Confusingly, the performance itself is not the artwork. The artwork is in fact a film of the performance, which will be on show at the Arnolfini. However, Glass is still insisting nobody sees either the performance or the film, and plans to close the Arnolfini for the duration of the Art Bastard exhibition.
This is the location.
The full
right
thing.
here, in the bear pit, Vicky. I've got a lot of things that need to change here. The place is going to have to be completely gutted,
Oh, of course.
sterilised,
Yes.
and painted white. I will want each of these tunnels completely renovating. Some of them will need to be widened, some of them will need to be made more narrow. The table tennis would have gone, of course. This one here,
Yeah.
the ballerinas are actually going to be entering on their hands and knees from this one, so we need it much lower and much tighter in. So when the glass is on the floor, the tunnels are changed, ballerinas will enter. The important thing that you need to know is that we need a crane.
Crane to the left of the Premin, yeah? All of these rooms taken by people who want to watch. All of them. We'll have them window. Some of them standing in the landings if they don't want to.
No, all of these buildings will be completely evacuated in the whole 360. People pass through this space every day, and yet with nobody passing through it, they won't notice what's changed for them in their own lives. And I'm giving that them as a gift. And they'll be both grateful for it, and yes, some of them will hate me.
A week later, with the show drawing ever closer, we joined Toby at his studio to try to get an insight into the complex meaning behind his elaborate new work. But instead, we learned more about the strange relationship he has with his assistant Lily.
Lily, are you going to be here next Thursday?
I think so.
Well, I've got a delivery due in at about 8:30, so if you could be here...
Toby Glass is incredibly clever, and he's been very supportive of my little work. So he has been quite kind to me. Thank you.
Lily, her own work doesn't really take a lot of time. So she's got a lot of free time on her hands. That is time better spent fabricating some of my work, some of my older style work. I'm loath to have her get her hands on any of this because I feel like she's too clumsy.
I should take these off. I'm getting wool. I have to be a bit more careful, I think.
Having escaped her duties fabricating Toby's work, Lily has taken refuge in her cupboard. It's a chance for Vicky to encourage Lily to realise her full potential.
I have a great relationship with Lily. She's hugely talented, but also quite lucky to have me kind of behind her driving that sort of career.
There's something I think we need to push. So I've thought a lot about it, and I think it's the sparrowhawk. Why don't we go more colourful? Flamingo.
In her rare moments free from Toby's demanding rota, Lily is struggling to produce the kind of work that she thinks Vicky wants for the show.
I know, I don't know what to do. I mean, I'm as confused as you would be. You seem to know it all, and I wish you could just tell me sometimes.
Compelled to reconnect with her early works, Lily shares sketches from her childhood, and in doing so, reveals the true cost of her bohemian upbringing.
I'd been to a friend's party on a barge. They had a punch, a kind of party punch, I suppose, with a white powder, and somebody said it was something to do for horses. And I caught my own reflection in the mirror and saw this. I picked up a pencil and drew it to try to kind of capture it somewhere else. I can't knit this kind of thing. And even now I feel like I can't get rid of it because it will just come back twice as awfully in a dream, or I'll see it somewhere else. I just keep it under the bed, face down.
Vaj has refused to reveal her plans for the exhibition, a fact which has become a cause for concern for Tim Timothy and the Arnolfini team. Vicky, however, is unfazed by the taciturn Vaj.
Vaj's final piece for the Arnolfini, well, I mean, we've both decided it's to be top secret. And at the moment, that's her secret more than it is mine.
When we asked Vaj about her lack of communication with the Arnolfini, she was more concerned with the gallery itself, having only recently visited the irreplaceable institution.
All that's in there is a big fucking empty room with nothing in it. Nothing in it, and a little leaflet saying why it's clever, because there's nothing in it. It's bullshit, man. That is exactly the kind of crap that Toby fucking prick Glass does, you know what I mean? Except he don't have a fucking leaflet pinned to his ponytail, does he?
After her disappointing experience at the Arnolfini, Vaj decided it was time to show us what she calls proper art.
So you toys want to know how to fucking stencil, do you? Badge will show you, right? First thing first, you gotta have a fucking stencil. Tick. Quick as you can, like line it up straight and that, just like you just want to whack that on like that, yeah? Oh, fucking bullshit. I don't fucking fall down again. Okay, fuck that. Don't matter. Just there. Put that fucking like that. Take the shit out of it. Right, fucking tidy, yeah? That was the easy bit. Then you gotta have your spray can and that. Do a little bit of a wank and then just squirt it at it. Nice one. Then just let the bitch free and you will see being badged, mate. Kiss off, David. Badge is in town, know what I'm saying? Easy.
As the deadline for the show approaches, Lily has returned to the forests of her childhood to search for inspiration. By the time we found her, she had already made a new friend.
Hi, Lily. Hi, shall we park up there?
Yes, quickly.
Oh, okay.
I've just found something. It's going to be lovely. It's up here. I mean, it's my lucky day because it's huge and it's a really handsome one. It's heavier than Thane. So you don't want Thane to get too jealous, so let's worry.
The woodland is a place with which she feels a deep spiritual connection, allowing her to forget the pressures of the show and Toby's schedule. Here, Lily can be herself.
When I was very small, I'd love to just spring onto this, like a kind of trampoline which doesn't bounce back. The nicest times when I don't think at all and I'm completely blank. And then I'm obviously worried about the show, and I don't want to let down Vicky.
As we went deeper into the forest, we found out just how much it means to her as she shared with us the scene of an event that would change her life forever.
This is the place where I first found Vane when he was dead. I stayed with him. It was actually when the sun was rising, and it suddenly dawned on me too, and I thought taxidermy is a kind of way to restore you. It means you stay with me.
Three months have passed since we first met the artists, and time is running out. So Vicky has called a meeting to finalise the details of the show. With Vaj's contribution still a mystery, and Toby refusing to let anyone into the gallery to see the exhibition, there are clear challenges for Art Bastard. But Vicky's prime concerns lie with a bewildered Lily.
Lily? How's it going for you?
It's not really going.
Okay.
Well, I've been helping Toby lots.
Excuse me, Lily, you have not been helping me.
Oh, well, I have.
I'm helping you. You have an opportunity.
Yeah, thank you.
Working with me.
Sorry. I've been working for him, but I haven't done very much for your shrine. Not yet, anyway.
Right, what do you need?
I think I just need to go into the forest.
Lily, you've been in the forest. You went last week.
How many times
You were
do
there.
like
You were
to
there
go,
for about
Toby?
2 hours, and you came in here with dirty shoes.
Oh, would you just take your fucking cock out of your mouth, Toby? You're talking bollocks.
Vaj,
Just leave
this
her
doesn't
alone and let her
concern
go to
you.
the... it doesn't concern me.
No, it doesn't
It
concern
fucking
you.
does, because she's a woman, I'm a woman, and you're a fucking dickhead who's running this whole fucking charade.
No, I think
Vaj,
that's
you're
a bit
coming into
strong.
my space,
I
talking
don't
in
give
that
a
way.
shit about your space, Toby. I don't give a shit about your fucking balls.
Well, if it wasn't for... They are not balls.
They are fucking
If it wasn't
balls.
for my
What is that?
work...
A ball? That is
Vaj,
a
if it was
ball.
not for my work, you would not be at the Arnolfini at all.
Vaj does not need no bollocks to do a fucking art show.
You
Is that
haven't
what she
done
did
an
for
art
you?
show before, have you? You've been scribbling on the walls in disguise.
Fuck you, Toby. You don't know
Drawing
what
on
the
a
fuck
wall.
you're talking about.
What is that?
Vaj,
What is that supposed to be? You
Vaj
have...
is not going to stand here and listen to your shit because Vaj has got a fucking statement to make and I'm going to actually fucking do something, so go fuck yourself.
Things are looking worse than ever for the Art Bastard show, and Toby Glass's list of concerns are growing by the minute. But his real problems have only just begun.
There's plenty more things that I'm concerned about, Vicky. Have you got the crane?
I'm calling the guy tomorrow, okay? It's going to be fun.
Lily, there's a feather on this stair. Have you sent out the invite telling people they can't come?
Did you sell this, Toby? Did you make 100k on that?
It was here. Vicky. Find her.
With the alleged theft of a £100,000 work of art from and by a member of the group, for the first time the very existence of the Art Bastard show has been called into question. Vicky's first priority is scouring Bristol's aqueducts, trying to track down Toby's missing ball.
I haven't been able to get hold of Vaj just yet, but she's elusive. That's Vaj. That's why we love her. As it is, Toby refuses to talk about the ball. And, you know, he goes a little bit pale if you mention Vaj. But I know Toby. Toby, you know, takes things like this very seriously. It will all be fine.
After Vaj's disappearance and a complete lack of communication, we finally managed to arrange a meeting. Vaj arrived in high spirits, clearly unconcerned by recent events.
been on a cider and all that sort of shit. How's it going? Welcome, milady. All that shit, whatever that is. I mean,
We asked her simply, had she stolen Toby Glass's ball?
maybe I stole Toby's ball, but then again, maybe I didn't. Maybe I just got a little plan. And maybe Toby has got a little surprise coming to him. Would you like that, Toby? A little surprise from Vag?
The next day, we join Toby and Vicky as they head to the peerless Arnolfini Gallery to discuss the project details with its director, Tim Timothy. Together, they plan to review the space in which Toby will be installing the film of his performance piece that no one will be allowed to see.
I'm Vicky Yentob. I'm here with Toby Glass, the conceptual artist. We were just wanting to have a look at the space.
Well, basically, we're installing the new show, unfortunately. So
Installing our show?
working yet.
Our show?
This is
Is it the Art Bastard show?
No, it's
No. Well, I mean, this, well, you know, it's ridiculous, so I'll make a phone call. It's all right, thanks so much. Take care. Yeah. Listen, I know there's been a mix-up. I just think it's better if we do it tomorrow. Let's come back tomorrow.
Well, what
and
is the
rearrange
point
it.
of doing it tomorrow, Vicky, when we are here today?
Well,
I have got
Toby,
a
do you
very
know-
busy schedule,
Yeah,
Vicky. And if you
absolutely.
want me to put on the
No,
best show that I can put on,
I just
then it's
think-
unnecessary
here's my
for me
right.
to be
Here's
wasting
my right.
time
Look, we'll
coming
talk
back
about
to the
it
art.
tomorrow.
Vicky!
I'm meeting at Poco's. Listen, I'll call TT on the way. All right. It's a mix-up, that's all it is. So, I mean, Toby will go home, cool down, swap his masking tape, so he'll be fine. He'll get over it. I'll just... Hello? Yeah. Oh, hi, TT. Yeah. No, yeah. What?
Since the disappearance of his ball, Toby's behaviour has become increasingly erratic. He has threatened not only to cancel a show he wants nobody to see, he has also issued a recall of every piece from his Objects Contained in Masking Tape That Are Unidentifiable series. But just as he is about to deliver his ultimatums at a meeting he has called, Vicky introduces an unexpected guest.
All right, YouTube. This is Vag here, coming live and direct on the Vagcast. I've got a little surprise for you. Toby, recognise this, you wanker? What they call it? Objects contained with masking tape that I don't fucking know what it is. Bollocks is what it is, and I'm gonna fucking show you. Let's have a look. Jesus, it's as tight as your fucking hairband, isn't it, mate? Sticking to my finger, Toby. That's a bit of your ball on Vag's thumb. How does that feel for you?
Sticky.
What's this represent, Toby? Your mum? Oh, yeah, look at that. It's just getting decimated, if you will. Yeah, look at that. Vag has got your balls, Toby. Vag has got... It's just one, isn't it? Is that a problem that you've got? What's that? Toby Glass crying. Yeah, because the layers are coming off, Toby. This is you getting fucking exposed for the bollock shit you talk about. Oh, isn't he so fucking clever? Isn't his concepts like fucking so out there? Do. What's inside the masking tape? Do. I am fucking excited, mate. I'm getting there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. What? What the fuck is this? A T. A red plastic T. I mean, what? No, honestly, right? Tell me, what does it stand for? Is it T for torture? Can you hear that? Can you hear that, Toby? Because that is the sound of the art world laughing at you, mate, because your career has just gone down the shitter or the toilet. Oh well, chin up, mate.
Needless to say, the Arnolfini have pulled out and TT wants nothing to do with it. The show's cancelled, Toby.
What does the T stand for?
T stands for Toby. Lily, you're fired.
It's been 6 weeks since the disastrous collapse of the Art Bastard show. And instead of putting the final touches on the biggest exhibition in Bristol's history, the artists find themselves in very different circumstances. We meet a rejuvenated Lily in the forests of her childhood, where together she and Thane feel more alive than ever before.
Oh, hello. What do you think? It's looking really good already. I'm not finished yet. I'm just kind of trying to make the inside a little bit more decorative.
She has been commissioned to build her shrine to Thane as the artwork for the new Bat for Lashes concept album, Tiny Feather Moons.
I haven't shown you the best bit. Oh. There you go.
While all of her efforts are now focused on her exciting new commission, she still finds time to consider her former employer.
I haven't seen Toby since the last time. He wasn't very happy then. And I'm hoping he's happy now, anyway.
It has not been an easy time for Toby. He's found himself the laughingstock of the art world, and his performance piece, 7 years in the making, will now not be realised. Although a setback, Glass plans to answer his critics with the full weight of his conceptualism.
I won't deny that the last 6 weeks have been challenging and troubling for me, but I am recontextualizing myself. I'm currently in the process of creating a new solo performance piece. I expect I will use YouTube. Vaj is like an animal that has learned to express itself in a way unnatural to its ability and capability. And as for Vaj's work, it's so simplistic. You can understand it just by looking at it.
Vicky has returned to the place that she describes as the most relevant, dynamic and lucrative hub of creativity in the UK. We find her with a spring in her step and a Vaj up her sleeve.
Hi guys, so here I am, back in London, and I've got some really exciting news actually, which I can't disclose too many details about, but a major gallery has picked up on Vaj's work, thanks to myself. So we're just getting ready for a huge show. I mean, it turns out Bristol wasn't the place to be at all. I mean, the best thing is London. So actually, I've just taken the best thing from Bristol and just brought it right here to London in Vaj, where it's all happening. I think Toby Glass's ball is a bit like Bristol. It's just a fridge magnet, really, but it's covered in so much masking tape you don't know what it is, so it could be really exciting, but it's just a bit shit underneath.